Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Casual Sports Podcast. I am Alek Koberna. As always, with me here on Tuesdays, Matt Morrison. Matt, we finally don't have Mike on a Tuesday episode. He had quite a streak going of actually being able to come every week, but streaks, as we found out this past weekend, have to come to an end at some point. But we're not talking college football today. We got college basketball to get into. Our top 10 coming up here in a little bit on the show. But why don't we start this off talking what happened last night? Monday Night Football. The Washington football team defeated Seattle Seahawks 17-15 to move to 5-6 on the season. Seattle now 3-8. First time under Russell Wilson. They've had 8 losses. So things going from bad to worse in Seattle. Obviously, Matt, he's been out for quite a bit this season. He missed, 4, 5, 6, 7 games down this
like
streak.
that, yeah.
So he's been out for a while. It's definitely hurt the team. And I think one of the biggest things you still have to look at the squad, they don't have a running back. Defense has been hurt. Russell Wilson probably isn't even 100%. This team obviously having a lot of problems and clearly not having a lot of solutions. And on the other side, Washington is technically a team not yet eliminated from playoff position. They're 2 games back from Mike's Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-4, Washington 5-6 on a 3-game win streaks over, the Panthers and the Buccaneers. 2 games we talked about last time as, big wins for this team as they continue to move forward in the season. So now we look ahead, last 6 games, what do they have left? They have a chance. They have the best chance out of any team probably right now sitting in a second place to take the division away from the Cowboys. They have the Raiders. Then the rest of the season after this weekend will be all in-division games against the NFC East. 2 of those games, both matchups coming up against the Cowboys. And if they can take both of those games, they're in first place of the NFC East. And frankly, it would be quite a big upset. And they have the Eagles in 2 games and the Giants in another. So to me right now, this win for Washington is projecting them on this trajectory that we've kind of seen them leaning towards since last season, right? They were on such a hot streak coming off that season. You get Heineke, the hype train coming in. They nearly take down Tom Brady and the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Buccaneers. The storylines are writing themselves, right? And then they come out this season, lay a goose egg. They're terrible. They can't get anything going. Their defense is a laughingstock of the NFL after it was one of the top units last year. Their defense still not great, but now you've seen the offense take that extra step. They're finally finding ways to win tight ball games, and that's something we haven't seen them do a lot. Their defense has improved every single week, and we're seeing them return to form. Now they lose Chase Young, and they're still playing at an elite level. So this Washington team, to me, coming off this win against the Seahawks, they, let Russell Wilson do his thing. But when Russell Wilson doesn't have anything around him, Alex Collins, their running back, 7 carries, 14 yards. He couldn't get anything going in this game. And to me, that's the biggest reason why Seattle couldn't win this game. They didn't have a running back. Russ got his, but they need to find a way to get something around him because Heineke's going to do average, and Antonio Gibson, for now the second and third straight week, has hit 100 yards. He's going to get his from now on. That's how this is going to work, and everyone's going to fall in line around him. There aren't any, one guy that's really sticking out for any of these teams.
No.
But this Washington squad is a total unit. And when you find unity in sports, you find teams that don't necessarily have a Tom Brady or a Mahomes-esque superstar, no Nick Chubb. There is no one superstar on this team that they run around. This is a total team unit, and you see it in high school and college all the time. When you have a total team, sometimes a unit can be better than the single, and that's what we saw here with Washington. Russell Wilson's better than the entirety of Washington football team as any individual player, and no one can doubt that. Tyler Lockett and Gerald Everett and DK Metcalf, probably better than any single player on this Washington team, maybe besides Terry McLaurin and maybe Antonio Gibson. But now you're seeing an entire team playing as one unit, and that's what you saw here last night. Seattle isn't one unit. It's a bunch of individuals, and you see it so much around the league, and it's how most offenses in the league are run, and defenses. It is individual play, and that's fine. You can win games. You can win Super Bowls. But now what you're seeing out of Washington is a total team coming together over a common cause, fighting their way through a season. They are battling week in and week out. And now you're seeing the results coming out of this. A tight game. Being able to win a tight game late tight game, it really shows just the strength of a unit of a football team. And that's what Washington did this past night on Monday Night Football.
Yes, and you talk about just a group the group of the players that have been really performing, they didn't even have their one guy who I really liked progressed over the season. That Ricky Seals-Jones, he had made some tremendous catches. I think there was that big one over the Giants back earlier in the year. He didn't play. He had a hip injury or something. He was doubtful to play last night. But without him, Terry McLaurin, who also makes these epic catches, when you see him catch a ball, you're like, how did he catch that ball? Just how? How did he catch that? You don't even know. You don't even know how he did it. And, DeAndre Carter, I like him too. I think he's just another guy floating through this team that can, put up numbers. What I don't like, though, Curtis Samuel. He's been on this team. He was Carolina. He was kind of a utility guy with Carolina. He didn't really do much. And he's on this Washington team now. He's kind of a veteran now. 2016, that was the big Ohio State year where they won in overtime against Michigan. That's 5-6 years ago now. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think they should get to him more. 1 reception, 9 yards. I don't know how they're fitting him in here. I think they need to fit him in more because he was once that electric speed guy, just like, McLaurin is. Both Ohio State guys, McLaurin has the speed. Pretty much any Ohio State receiver has that electric speed. Or if they don't have the speed, they have the, the route running ability, like Chris Olave. That guy's tremendous route running. Alek, you could probably talk about him all day.
Olave, though, doesn't just bring in, the electric route running. He can beat you, and he will beat you. I'm interested to see what it comes up at this year's combine, what his 40-yard dash is. Yeah. I imagine it'll be in the 4.4s. I think it'll be slower in the 40, but he's still an electric guy. And the thing with him, he's not necessarily top speed fast, but he's quick.
Yeah. So the basic thing is when you get an Ohio State receiver, put him and make him fit in the system. Michael Thomas, there's another one, great route runner, and he has speed as well. And anybody from Ohio State that is a receiver, I know everybody from Ohio State is pretty good, but receivers, if you have any former Ohio State receiver, put him in your offense. He will make a difference. Look at what San Antonio Holmes did for the Steelers, okay?
They know how to make plays,
Without him, they probably wouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Who else would you think, besides Randy Moss or any of those good receivers, could make a catch like that?
Okay. I don't know. And Matt, I wasn't a Steelers fan. I watched that Super Bowl, and to me, growing up, the only thing I knew about the NFL was San Antonio Holmes catch, in that Super Bowl, and it was fantastic. It's one of the earliest memories I have of the NFL. Because keep in mind, first 10 years, I'm the Browns fan. I don't really watch it because those first 10 years, they got their butts kicked. I like Derek Anderson, and that was the quarterback I always wanted. They get Peyton Hillis for the miracle.
Peyton Hillis was a truck.
Yeah, San Antonio Holmes. That was one of the earliest memories I saw of, so that's what professional football looks like.
Yeah. So when in doubt, when you have an Ohio State receiver, put them in your offense, okay? They will be productive. McLaurin has already been productive. And, they've been using him. But you have something that most of these teams don't have. You have 2 Ohio State receivers, former receivers, on your team. Put them in your system. Make them your front point of your offense, okay? Good things will come.
I love how the non-Ohio State fan is pushing up the Ohio State players, and here I'm loving to see it. I wish Mike was here to listen into this conversation.
Well, we'll just have to talk to him about it.
Right,
like, Matt, no, Matt, no.
Still not as good as Allen Robinson, right?
So, yeah.
Who else you got? KJ Hamler with the Broncos.
Yeah, Allen Robinson's cool though. So
I got no beef with Allen Robinson. Yeah. All right, let's move on here from this one. It was a pretty crapshoot all out, and it pretty much seems like any chance of the playoffs gone now for the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. They're one of 5 teams with less than 3 wins, so they're down there with the Texans, the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Jaguars. Not good Jets. Territory to be in, and
you say Jets,
and the Jets too.
Jets. So just take this one, take it with a grain of salt, come back.
Go find a weapon or something this year in the draft. Go get something. Get a defensive player. Get a superstar. Yeah, if you got a chance at a top tier pick, I'm not sure what the trades are looking like. I think right now 4 or 5 of the top 10 picks are controlled by teams on the East Coast between the Eagles, the Jets, and the Giants. There's a lot of picks going out that way, so I don't know if Carolina has traded away that first-round pick or not.
Yeah.
But if they haven't, I say right this year, you either got to find a running back in the second round, and I think you got to find a defender in that first round. There's so many top-level guys within those top 10 draft picks. I think you got to target them. I mean, we point them out every time we talk about defensive guys, right? Will Anderson from Alabama, Jordan Davis from Georgia, Aiden Hutchinson from that team to the north, and, Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. He's had a quiet season out there, but he's still one of the top defensive ends coming out this season. He's going to make a spark. There's tons of guys even after that aren't your top four. They have to find somebody on defense. And to me, it starts with that defensive line. You see the best teams around the NFL, they start and finish with the defensive line. Everyone else makes the flashy plays. It's that defensive line that can make or break a football game these days.
And if you want to go that running back way, I think they should get a running back. There's plenty of guys to pick from here. I even like that Breece Hall from Iowa State.
Yeah.
He has shown some production.
He just set a college football record, didn't he?
Yeah. CJ Verdell, when he gets healthy, and you can't really forget Kenneth Walker, but I think he'll be off the boards, early.
Well, I don't know, Matt. It seems running backs have been going a lot later in the draft than, recent years. I mean, you look just, 2 years ago with Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor. Those guys taken late first. There was a cluster of them taken right there at the end of the first, and Jonathan Taylor gets taken right in the second. But you've seen the way these running backs, top-tier ones that used to go, top five, like Saquon and Zeke, it's fallen off. It's a late round first and early second, even potential in a late second, early third to get a good running back off the board. Even after that, you can find talent hidden away, kind of as the Browns did with guys like John Kelly from UCLA, Dearness Johnson. They can find talent later in the draft. It doesn't have to be a high draft pick for a quality running back. And obviously, I think all these teams are going to know that. But it starts with the defense first, I think, for Seattle this season, this offseason.
How about even Tyler Goodson, the guy from Iowa? That guy, he can take off. I think with, a couple more offensive line guys. And then there's also that running back from UTSA, that McCormick from UTSA. He was pretty good too. So there's plenty of guys to go to here that will be better than what they have now. So
right, yeah, they're going to need a lot of help this offseason. Unfortunately, Matt, we got to move on from this one.
Yeah,
how about we take a look what happened last night between our two games, Matt? I was on the call. Springfield basketball as they were taking on the Crestview girls team. It was a tight contest in that first quarter, but a lot of energy going towards Springfield. It's their home opener, season opener. They're returning a girl who was a sophomore last year, junior this year, averaged 18.9 points per game. She came into this one head blazing. She got 25 points of her own. She was going off. It was a fantastic performance from her. And on Crestview's side, they have an absolute talented freshman center, Lavraine Gaskin. She was sending shots back. She finished in double-digit points. They got Madison Schultz, who's going to be a big shot scorer for them this year. They have to find a little bit more consistency. Springfield came away with, it was like a 20-point win in this one. They opened up the season fantastic fashion. They really dominated all facets of the game. Their passing, time of possession, everything you could have asked for, they dominated. They have a great duo right down there with I can't remember the other one's name. Maggie something, Maggie Lesnack, I believe was the name. She was fantastic. She got double-digit points. Her rebounding was incredible for Springfield last night. They really dominated that game, and hands down, fantastic performance for Springfield. Crestview, they're now 0-3 on the season. Head coach Aaron Batchy, he's going to have to get this squad together at some point. Find something to get them going. Obviously, they got a big game we're calling December 11th at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. They're going to have to find a way to win before then, because they're going to go up against a hot shooting Brookfield Warriors team that we know can put up a lot of points. And after last night's basketball, if you didn't see all the scores, go to YSN Live's Instagram. Just start scrolling through all the scores. We saw some absolute blowouts. Waterloo won their game 55-5. So last night, high school girls basketball, you have to find a way to score because we have some really good defenses around the valley this year. Matt, how was your game?
It was all right. Some problems, but I won't go into that. I'll just talk about the game here. Bristol came out. Most of these girls on the Bristol team were all seniors, and they were all together for a while. Badger still has some freshmen. I really like the Katie Grexa on this team. I know that Grexa is a good family. Katie Grexa had about 15 points. She's taller. She's one of the taller girls on the team, and she's kind of the vocal point of that young Badger girls team. But they dropped this one 50-32. But to put up 32 points against Bristol, I look at that as, hey, that's a pretty good night. And I also got to catch up with the boys' head coach, and I actually got to talk to some of the boys' high school players, and as I'm going to be calling them tonight as they take on East Palestine. So that should be a fun matchup. And, I went to Badger, so I know everybody there. They're all still there, and like, hey, how you doing? They're all asking all these hundreds of questions, and, I'm just – the tensions arise. I get nervous, like, oh, this is my school. Don't screw up, Morrison. Don't screw up. So, well, tonight should be better, and we'll see what happens. It should be a good game.
Pardon me. Who does Badger boys have on tonight? Oh,
we have East Palestine tonight. There's some good players. I've talked to him a couple times. There's a good guy. If he's by himself under the hoop, I mean, he's going to be jumping up and probably dunking it. There's some bunch of kids are at least 6'1" or 6'2", and they have hops. I saw four of them lined up together just talking. I guess it was mandatory that they went to the game last night for the girls, and they're tall. They have height, and we'll see what their shooting's like. But a couple of guys that, to my knowledge, are able to dunk the basketball. So I might see some showtime tonight. That'd be cool. So I'm
gonna have to bring the energy on the microphone, Matt.
Cool. Yeah,
gonna have to bring the energy on the mic there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be sitting by. I don't think Badger used to be big for their pep band. I don't think they're gonna have pep band, which is horrible. My sister was in pep band. It was the energy of this team, and I don't think they're gonna have pep band. I'm gonna be sitting right by where the pep band usually is supposed to be, which I thought was going to be cool. I'm going to be right by the pep band, get that band going right next to the broadcast. I thought that was going to be cool, but they don't even have a pep band. So hopefully their fans show up. They're quite a good group of fans that showed up last night. So hopefully we can see the same thing here tonight. So
yeah, I know last night at my game, actually a really good turnout. You get surprised. Obviously, it's the season opener. I think family's still in town from this past Thanksgiving weekend. But a lot of times you see the attendance between boys basketball and girls basketball really differ throughout the season. And I love seeing this first game, a fairly packed house in Springfield. Obviously, you were seeing a decent crowd there in Badger, and hopefully another good one here tonight. But let's go ahead and move on the show here. First game, we take a look here in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns, the Golden State Warriors. Matt, this Suns team is absolutely phenomenal right now. I mean, we talked about them last week. They are on a 16-game win streak, and this matchup here, we're not just going to see it once this week. We're seeing it twice. They're going to play today and Friday. So best scenario right now is either, 2 straight games for the Suns, in my opinion. Get that winning streak just going off the charts.
Especially against Curry.
Right. Either 2 straight wins for the Suns or a series split. I don't think I want to see the Warriors take both these games, especially when they don't even have Klay Thompson or James Wiseman yet. So this is one of the best matchups we're going to see all season long. Potentially a Western Conference Finals matchup. Preview here.
I'll tell you something right now. This will be the best Western Conference final that I would ever have witnessed. If these two teams face off, it would be if they face off at all. Them facing off against each other in the playoffs is an instant watch. Okay, I bet you probably get the viewerships topping over. They'll probably be breaking records. Because I want to watch it right now. Like, if it was on right now, I'd be up.
Well, Matt, you get to wait till 10 p.m. tonight if you want to tune in. Obviously, West Coast teams, they're going to get late nights. It'll be a late night for anybody deciding to watch that. And for those of you wondering, longest win streaks in the NBA history, they still have a while to go. Currently at 16, the all-time record from the Los Angeles Lakers from 1971 to 1972 is 33 games. Second on the list, that Golden State Warriors team, split between the December of the 2015 season and then the start of the 2015-16 season. They combined 28 straight wins, and then that went through the playoffs actually into the regular season. So one of the biggest win streaks right now where the Phoenix Suns sit. at that 16-game mark. They are very close to tying their franchise all-time record set back in 2006, 2007 when they won 17 straight. So they're right on the cusp of history. Technically right now they're tied 24th all-time on the NBA's record. There's a lot of teams, though, that have been stuck at that 16 mark that never quite got over the hump. First win of this win streak started against our Cleveland Cavaliers, 101-92 on October 30th. So we'll get to see if this streak can continue and become one of the all-time greats that we've seen in the NBA. And frankly, I want to see it. I mean, I don't know how you can be a basketball fan and not root for this kind of outcome. And
when they were going into that Cavs game, that first game that started this streak, they were just 1-3. They were 1-3. We were like, oh, I don't know what's going on with Phoenix. Just a slow start, that's what it's turning out to be right now. But we were scared. They're 1-3. Oh, no. Well, I want them to go back. I want to see Chris Paul potentially get a ring. The guy deserves a ring. That guy has been to work. You put him on any team, and they are immediately good. They put him on OKC. OKC was depleted, but he was on that team, and they made a playoff run that one season he was with OKC. He's a tremendous player. He's getting older, yes, but he still has all that heart, and he still has that sweat and blood just to pour into this game that he plays. This guy deserves the highest honors. And,
obviously
this is
a first ballot Hall of Famer when he gets out.
Oh,
Matt, everyone was saying last year was his best shot. They get there and they really couldn't get anything going. To me, Chris Paul, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't get everybody saying he deserves this because, in my opinion, nobody deserves an NBA title. No. You earn an NBA title. To me, all people say, "Oh, this guy deserves a ring. Derrick Rose deserves a ring." You don't deserve anything. Nothing in life is given. Everything is earned. I mean, that's Goodyear's slogan, right? And Chris Paul, he's had the chance. He's had the best teams to be on. He was on this Sun squad last year. They were in the NBA Finals, and they didn't earn it. You don't deserve anything in the NBA. You don't deserve anything in life. You earn every single honor you get. And to me, he's earned everything he's had so far. Yep. I don't say he deserves the title. He's got to go out there and prove it to everyone that when people say he deserves this, that he is willing to earn it to be able to cement himself as an all-time great point guard. Because to me, you're not a great point guard if you can't lead your team to a championship, because that's what a point guard is, right? They are the leader of a team.
They're the point.
Right, everything runs through you, and if you can't get a title running through you, you're not an all-time great. To me, he's right on the outside, but he's never going to be that elite status point guard if he can't win a title.
Let me rephrase what I said. He deserves the shot to take what he wants, okay? And he's had that. He deserves every opportunity that he's going to get, and he's gotten it, but he hasn't been able to take it. Last year was the closest he has been. He was like he could taste it. He had his fingertips on that trophy. It was there, but he just
Larry O'Brien went, no, not in my house.
I'm gonna go back here. It's
just like your words.
This is no. This is just like the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. They were that close to winning that first Super Bowl.
I'm out.
Listen, get out of here. Listen, they're that close, okay? They were that close. Then the next year, even though they lost, all of them, but the next year, it was like, hey, we were happy to be there last year. This is the year where we have to take things serious and have to actually be like, hey, we have to come out and do it this year. I think that was last year for Phoenix. They're like, hey, we're there. We're in it. We weren't supposed to be here, and we're here now. And they ended up losing. Like, hey, we can get back there. And once we get back there, we have to take it. We have to take this championship.
And Matt, the only reason I laugh at you, I know you were watching the Four Falls of Buffalo
Go Bills.
Documentary right before the show here today, so had to laugh at you a little bit.
I know.
But can we just put ourselves right now in the Suns' shoes? You're in the championship last year, and you're like, all right, Western Conference is mine this year. Yeah, you lose. Yeah, Chris Paul, not Chris Paul. Who did they lose in the offseason? I don't remember. They lost somebody in the offseason, and then, you see this team come into this year, and you start off terrible. Then you get on a 16-game win streak. You're sitting here 17-3 after your first 20, and you go ahead and look, good season. Go us. We're back to the Western Conference. And then you just got to look a little bit ahead of you down the road and you see Golden State still sitting in first place. Like, I have won 16 games in a row. They're still missing Klay Thompson. They don't have James Wiseman, and I still can't take first place of the Western Conference. Can you imagine right now being the Suns and you've done all this, right? You've been here. You've been now 2 seasons. You're on top. And then here comes Golden State right back at you, here to take first place once again at 18-2.
Yeah, I don't know quite who you're thinking of who they lost.
Nor do I, so doesn't matter.
I don't know. Ricky Rubio left.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. I like Rubio,
Maybe.
so
yeah.
Wait, he's obviously an integral piece of the Cavs right now. So
yeah, actually he left. I guess he left like midseason last year and went to Minnesota for the year. I don't know. He's gone now.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Who knows? But either way, we got to make picks for this games. And you know what? When someone's dealing with the hottest hand I've seen in potentially, my entire professional career calling and watching sports, you got to roll with the hottest hand. And right now, the Suns, they're playing like they're on the sun. So they're hot. They're on fire. I'm going to take Phoenix here. I hope it doesn't bite me. If we end up making this pick second time this week, I don't have it on the schedule, but maybe we just might have to. I'm taking the Suns this time. We'll see what happens next time. No pick from Mike. Matt, what's your shot?
I've been thinking about this for going on 26 hours now. I couldn't even sleep. Listen, this is true. I could not sleep last night. I'm like, who am I going to pick? This is going to be a game. Yeah. I'm not making stuff up here. I lost sleep over it. I really did, because this isn't David versus Goliath here. This is Goliath versus Goliath. Okay. And I don't know who's going to take it. You're going on with the hot hand with Phoenix here.
Take your pick back. We got to move on.
I know. I want to point out the tremendous effort by the Golden State Warriors. They're not at full strength yet. Like you said, they don't have, Klay Thompson or Wiseman, but you got to roll with the hot hand. I got to go Phoenix. I got to roll Suns.
All right, we got to go rapid fire on this one because we got a lot to get to today. Today, 7 p.m., 11-7, Boston Bruins host the 10-9-3 Detroit Red Wings. Boston, a -1.5-point favorite. I'm going quick on this one. Offensively, defensively, Bruins have been better. I'm taking Boston.
I'm taking Boston, too.
No pick for Mike. Well, let's get down to the moment everyone's been waiting for here. College basketball top 10s. We'll start this one off going pretty quickly. At number 10, Iowa State. They've had a great run so far this season, undefeated coming into it. They've been playing fantastic. This was a squad. They're right on the edge of being, a top team all around. I had them sitting at 7th, and nobody else had them ranked. That is why they are in where they are in this rankings, because to me, I just see what they've done this season, and they're undefeated against, I'd say, a decent few opponents. They sit 19th in the AP polls, but to me, I like what they've done. I had them up there in the rankings. No one else did. They sit at 10.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for putting them there. I mean, this poll, they have Villanova in the top 10. They're 4-2, but you don't have Iowa State. I don't know the argument that they have for that. I made that little argument last week with Villanova, but come on. I don't know what's going on. So I like that pick right there.
Number 9 on our list, Kentucky, the perennial powerhouse, still back at it once more. They're having an all right season in my book.
I like the bounce back so far. Last year was kind of a sleeper year. Like, they didn't even make the tournament, I don't think. But this year they have rebounded. Their only losses against Duke, and they pulled off some big wins. They haven't really lived up to the competition.
I don't think they've had any single big wins, and that's why I don't. To me, they've played well. They're not in my top 10.
The biggest one that I look at is the Ohio win. Okay, 77-59. I look at that like Ohio.
I'd say maybe Mount St. Mary's.
That's a big one too, and they have some big ones coming up against Buckeyes. Notre Dame are on their list too. So
Louisville, LSU, yeah. So some big names coming up. To me, they haven't done enough, but they get on both yours and Mike's. How about we go number 8 now on our list? Arizona, the Wildcats, finding a will and a way to get up there. The 16th in the college basketball BPI list. Arizona, number 11 on the AP Top 25, dropped yesterday at noon. And to me, they are 3rd right now in points per game with 91. Only 3 teams in the nation are averaging more than 90 points per game. This is one of them. They're doing it on 49.5% shooting, 34% from behind the arc, and 72% from the free throw line. They have been unstoppable this season. No, they haven't had really any big wins per se, but I like everything they've done so far, and they do have the one big win, right? 18 points over that team up north, a team that was ranked 4th, and I believe is still their just one of their only 2 losses they've had this season. So to me, this Arizona squad, they've done everything you can ask this early in the season. I had them ranked.
I have them ranked too, and this is the best team that they had since that 15, 16, 17 team that featured Lauri Markkanen on that team, and they're finally getting back to a good team that they had back then. They're finally getting right there again. I like that. So hopefully we see more good things from them during the season.
Well, number 7 on the list goes to Kansas. Looking here on our list, you voted them for 6th in the rankings. Mike had them 8th. I had them 9th. They're all right in my book. I don't think they're as hyped as they should be. They're coming off a loss here. And to me, I've always been about punishing a team for losing. And that's what I'm doing here again. I had this team high up last week. I had them sitting at 5th. I dropped them down all the way to 9th with a loss. I've shown consistency with that all year. To me, bounce back, win some more. They'll be right back in the contestant for a top team. But until you can prove against good teams that you can win, you have no reason to sit in the top 10. That's why I dropped it down here.
Yeah, I don't blame you for dropping them, but sometimes slip-ups happen, and they just have to look ahead on their. Yeah, I mean, hey, it happens. It happens.
They lost to a Dayton team that I believe right now is 5-3.
Oh, geez, but it still happens. So
same Dayton team that lost by nearly 20 points to Lipscomb.
Oh, geez, Lipscomb, really? So, I mean, okay, definitely, maybe a fluke game because
we're gonna find out. But that's why I have them dropping down already. If they drop another one, much like Nova, they won't be in my top 20. Yeah, the Lipscomb might be a team you actually got to watch out for this season. Able to do that. So, I mean, that's one thing. You never know who can pop up here in college basketball. This isn't like
popped up out of nowhere.
Right. This is the team 5-2 here, 2-0 at home. They obviously have a win over a different Loyola, Charleston, South Carolina. They lost to Tennessee Tech. It's a team you might have to look out for come March Madness, but never mind that. Number 6 on our list, Iowa, the Hawkeyes, to me, the most disrespected team right now in the nation, not even sitting in the top 25, despite being 7-0 and also being first place in basketball in points per game, averaging 94 points per game. Yeah, they really haven't beaten anybody, and they faced Virginia earlier this week, and it was a 1-point win for them. It doesn't matter to me. They have dominated the competition, and they're winning basketball games. They have Purdue coming up this Friday. That's the big test. If they win that one, to me, I have this team sitting probably top 3. If they beat Purdue, I have them taking that 3rd spot away from Purdue on my top 25. I don't know what your guys just looked like in that situation, but to me, this Iowa team, hot as any, completely disrespected. Without Luka Garza, I think they're better than they were last year.
Yeah, Garza took up everything. He was a vocal point, and I think he was a ball hog. I honestly think that.
Ooh.
Now he's gone, and you get all these players that have more
freedom to operate. And they also have still the number 1 scorer in the country in Keegan Murray, averaging 24.5 points per game.
He's awesome.
So,
all right,
number 5 on our list, UCLA, the Bruins. Okay. They're finding a will. They're 6-1 right now. It's a team they had to drop after their loss. Everyone had them sitting at second. It was a big loss for them. It was one they really couldn't have afforded. It happens though, and they're going to have to find a way to rebound. They still have a great season. They're not going to worry about one loss, but they got shell shocked by Gonzaga. It was a 20-point loss, and with only really Arizona left on their schedule, who they'll have to play twice. And then they'll also get USC later in the year, depending on how USC is doing. They're a ranked team right now. We'll see. To me, UCLA does not have the strength of schedule right now to really warrant them getting a lot of hype. I dropped them decently far in my own rankings. I had them at 6 from going from 2 to 6. I give the big penalty. They got lost by 20. They still have the win over Nova. I'm holding on to that one for them right now. Other than that, though, the Bruins, not as impressive as I think they thought they could have been this season.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a huge loss against Gonzaga. I didn't expect them to pretty much get blown out like they did. Zaga looked really dominant in that game, but I'll talk a little bit about them here in about 30 seconds probably. But
maybe.
maybe. But hopefully they can move on from that loss. Just keep going. It is a big loss, but don't turn your back on it. Just keep moving forward.
Well, let's go to number 4 on the list. The Baylor Bears moving back up 7-0 right now. We all have them unanimous number 4. They don't really have any signature wins yet on the season. They do have Villanova and Oregon coming up, Iowa State coming up, and obviously they'll have to run through Alabama, Kansas, Texas, a lot of big names down later in the season. To me, they've done everything right so far. No real big things for them. They're not, off the charts when it comes to scoring like I really wish they are. They're 38th right now in college basketball, averaging 81 points per game. To me, they're all right. They're winning, and that's what they have to do. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you win. It's just that you keep winning. So to me, Baylor, they get 4th place. Basically benefit of the doubt. They had teams ahead of them drop a little bit, so they get the benefit to move into that top 4 in my book.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor, they deserve to be moving up. Honestly, I was mad. I was mad when they ranked them that far down at the beginning of the season. They just won a national championship, right. and you put Zaga at number 1?
You're the champ until you ain't.
Like, you're number 1 until you lose, okay? I don't get that. They do it to Alabama every year, too. They make Alabama number 1.
You also had Gonzaga ranked number 1, though, so.
Yeah, I did. But I did. But I was mad at the fact that the actual polls dropped them lower than they should have been. I know I put Zaga at 1. I do. But if I could go back and change it, I definitely would. Now Baylor's on its way up.
Matt, number 3 here on our list. Purdue, the Boilermakers, 2 top 25 wins already in the season. First one, nearly by double digits against UNC. They destroyed Villanova 80-74. Then they go in there against, who is this, Omaha. The Mavericks, they won 97-40. They're dominant right now. Second best scoring team in college basketball at 92.3. Still over, a point and a half less per game than Iowa, but to me right now, this team's done everything right, haven't they? I mean, they are phenomenal, all facets of the game. And this isn't a team that has anybody in the top 5 in any statistical category in college basketball this season, but it's a total team. That's what we see every year from Purdue. They are phenomenal playing as a total unit, and AP poll loves them. They moved them all the way up to 2nd right now, jumping Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's where they should be. Purdue, they're boilermaking right now. They're going. They're going. I like this Purdue team. They're scrappy.
Throwing the college basketball and college football landscape on its head once again.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what they got a big game coming up. Florida State, it should be not really a test, but it should be a good tune-up game for the game after that. And that's Iowa. And that Purdue-Iowa game is going to be a pretty good basketball game. So we'll just have to sit back and just wait and think about who we're going to pick for that game, because I know you'll probably be thinking, you like that Hawkeyes team. I've always been the Purdue type of guy, so we'll just see. We'll see.
Well, we got to move on here. Number 2, Gonzaga seems pretty obvious. They were number 1. They lost to Duke. Duke's going to take our number 1 spot, obviously, undefeated. To me, these teams were a coin flip going into the weekend. Duke took it. They get 1st place in my book. Gonzaga, they moved to 2nd. To me, they're still the best team until they're not. They've been phenomenal this season. They lose that one by 3 points. They still have the win over UCLA, still have a ranked win over Texas. So, and they're going to have Alabama coming up. To me, they've solidified their spot at the top of the college basketball world, and they're going to be there until someone proves that they can take them down. And I don't know if there's anybody in the nation that can do that. So that's going to do it for our top 25, our top 10. Matt, let's get into the preview here. We have a lot to go through where we might have to rapid fire here, a few at the end. I know I was trying to move us through there. We got 10 minutes is how long it took us to do that segment there. How about this one? Let's start with the ACC Big Ten battle here. number 1 Duke, and unranked Ohio State Buckeyes, but they're 4-2. They slipped up in a 3-point loss against number 14 Florida and number 25 Seton Hall. They lost both games by 3. Actually, no, they beat Seton Hall. Pardon me, by 3.
They beat Seton Hall.
They lost to Xavier by 6 points, and I love that Xavier team. It is one that I'm going to have to look at come March Madness as a potential Sweet 16 team. So not one you can overlook. They have a chance to potentially go farther than Ohio State in March Madness based on what Ohio State always seems to do in March Madness. So
you got to look at Seton Hall too. I'm excited to see the Seton Hall team.
100%. But Matt, we got to stay focused here. We can't be too casual on the Casual Sports Podcast right now. Tonight, 9:30 p.m. Duke, Ohio State. Everybody knows I'm taking the Buckeyes in this one. Mike took the Duke Blue Devils. Matt, I got a feeling you're rolling with Duke in this one, but I think I got to ask you how you feel about them Buckeyes.
I like this Buckeye team. I like Ohio State way more in basketball than I do in football because I like their coach, and I've liked their previous coaches. Thad Matta was a legendary Ohio State coach, and I like the guy they have now. I like his offensive scheme. I like how he works the defense, too. They're a good defensive basketball team. But I'm right, and I've liked Duke for years. I've just watched them, the players over time. I've watched this Duke team. They have been good. This is the year Coach K has to ride out in high glory. So I'm going to stick with my Duke Blue Devils here, and I got to go Duke.
Well, you guys know I can't pick against the Buckeyes, so obviously I have to take them there.
You would never pick against them.
I can't. It's just not in my blood. Next game up on the list. I love this one. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., UCF, they're 4-1. They're going up against number 21 Auburn. I really like this matchup. I think it's a real big chance for UCF to pull the upset here. But I am going to roll with Auburn in this one. They've been doing some great things this season. And to me, they have a really good shot of pulling off the win here and what should be a very tight contest.
I got to go Auburn here, too. They had some tough games that they pulled out. They had like the Loyola game. It was heartbroken, but they played a pretty good game. I watched that game as well as the Michigan State Loyola game. But I like this Auburn team. I think they can make a decent run in March Madness if they keep doing what they're doing. So, yeah, we got to go Auburn too.
All right. Well, next one up on the list, no picture Mike. He's not here, so he can't make them. Next one up. This one I think is going to come as a lot of surprise to some people on why I picked this game to look at. But I think it's a really big one for college basketball and a huge potential upset. This one comes tonight, 7 p.m. 4-1 Tennessee hosting 5-2 Presbyterian. And everyone's going to look at me and go, Presbyterian? Well, yeah, this team is 5-2. Their loss came to Cincinnati and Clemson, and to me, they played terrible in those games. We've seen what they've done out of those two. They've actually played decently well. This isn't a bad team. They have, to me, as good a chances as any team coming into this one to pull off a win. Rayshawn Harris is averaging 21.3 points per game. Winston Hill is averaging 9 points. Trayvon Reddish-Roan, he's averaging 9. They got a lot of scoring right now on this team, and to me, they have a chance, man. And all you can ask for going into a game against a top 25 team is a chance. And that's what I'm giving this one. I'm giving them a boxer's chance right now. Go out there, make this a slugfest. Just see what you can do.
I'm looking at their schedule now. They lose to Clemson and Cincinnati.
Right.
I mean, that Clemson game was a lot closer than the Cincinnati game. But, hey, I mean, anything can happen. Well, the Presbyterian Blue Hose, though? Let's talk about that name. What's that mean? The Blue Hose?
Literally like Blue Hose as an HOSE, like a garden hose. I have no idea what the Blue Hose is. Neither one of these teams are top 20 or top 40 in scoring. So, to me, it's a fighter's chance right now. And you know what? I'm taking underdog here. I'm taking Presbyterian to pull off the upset versus Tennessee. Call me crazy. I don't care. I'm taking the Blue Hose.
You know what? Since you're so hyped up with it, hey, they're first in the Big South. They're first in their division.
You got a fighter's chance, and that's all you can ask for.
I'm gonna go the Blue Hose too.
There you freaking go. Blue Hose, unanimous decision here on the Casual Sports Podcast. It's gonna bite us in the butt. I just know it is. But you know what? Another potential upset. ACC matchup in the Big Ten Challenge. Florida State at 5-1. They're 0-1 on the road, and they've got Purdue in West Lafayette, the number 2 team in the nation, 6-0. To me, quick pick. I'm taking Purdue. No shot for FSU.
Yeah, Purdue as well.
They're just unstoppable. So Mike's not here, but I can pretty much guarantee he would take Purdue in this matchup. So I'm going to give it to him. Free pick on his part. Florida versus Oklahoma. I think this is another fantastic matchup to go into this series here. I mean, two big teams eventually here pretty soon are going to be SEC opponents. So a future in-conference matchup, 6-0 Florida, 6-1 Oklahoma. It's a team that I don't think you can underlook right now. And I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Matt, take a pick.
I don't know here. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't even hear what you said. What game?
Number 14, Florida, 6-0 against Oklahoma, who's 6-1. This game in Norman.
In Norman.
Florida has not played an away game yet this season.
There's a lot of tension going on in Norman, Oklahoma right now. I know
there's going to be some fireworks.
There's going to be some fireworks going on. I say Florida comes in and gets them off guard. They got a lot of stuff going on with that university right now. Everybody's just pissed. So I think
that's putting it lightly there, Matt.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you don't know what we're alluding to, Lincoln Riley announced he will be leaving the program to join USC. So definitely a lot of tension rolling through there right now. So we're gonna have to see if they can pull it off. Matt, here's another one for you. Potential upset. BYU on the road in Utah to take on the 6-1 Utah Valley Wolverines. This one, it was another one of those games. I put it on here, just went, hey, man, they got a chance. They got a chance. They have three guys averaging double figures right now when it comes to scoring. And not to mention, they have a guy averaging a double-double for Dawes Amik, I believe. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He's the center there, averaging 20.3 points, 13.7 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. He's shooting 56% from field goal range, and they're going to have Connor Harding and Justin Harmon, both averaging over 10 points. They have two guys averaging over 9, and Latrey Darthard, Blaze Neild. They have a ton of scoring potential coming into this game. Wow. To me, it's just a chance. You got to look at them. As I said last time, they have a fighting chance to take this basketball game. They have one loss on the season. They lost to Boise State to open it. Since then, they're averaging about 80 points. 2 have gone to overtime. I'm going to make my pick. I've got BYU. They're one of my top 10 teams. I'm sticking with them here. Hope it doesn't bite me, but give them a chance.
Yeah, I got to go BYU here as well. Just the fact that they're more stacked in their lineup than this Utah Valley Wolverines team. Yes, they have some players. They may surprise us, but I mean, at least they're beating their teams in their conference. So good for them. Good for that.
Team to look out for. That's a lot of what this is. Teams you have to look out for later in the season. Yeah. How about another big one for the Big Ten in the ACC? We have Michigan, number 24 in the nation, against the 4-2 UNC Tar Heels. Both teams, same record. This one in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, undefeated at home so far in the season. Michigan has not played a true away game yet this season, so potential there. And I'll go ahead and make my pick quick on this one. I have UNC. They love to defend Chapel Hill. It's hard to win there. Michigan, they've obviously struggled this season. I'm taking the Tar Heels.
I got to go Tar Heels, too. That's my AirPod difficulty.
Yeah.
So-called team here. I mean,
hey,
I know
Matt,
people are like, you like Duke and North Carolina? Yeah.
No, we're good. I had technical difficulties on my side. I had college basketball games start playing in my ears. You're good. Are you taking the Tar Heels as well?
I'm good. Yeah, you go Tar Heels here.
All right, cool. Next game on our slate. I like this matchup. A little under the radar. It's a good one, though, and UCLA needs it. They have the 6-1 Colorado Buffaloes coming, and this one in LA. So UCLA, they get that home game. First Pac-12 matchup of the season for them. This one, 9:30 tomorrow. Should be a big game. I'm going to put my money on UCLA here, but I like this Colorado team. They have the same record, and they don't have any big wins. If they can pick this one up here, no doubt to me, they're a top 25 team moving forward. But until they, get dropped by somebody not named Gonzaga, I'm rolling UCLA.
Yeah, I got to go UCLA here too. They're still a top-tier team.
Well, let's go on one more then. This one, Utah versus UNC. We got to pick two UNC matchups. They got a rough week this time out, and this is one of those games you have to look at this game on Saturday. I believe it is. As I'm looking through the something. Utah versus UNC. Matt, any thoughts here? UNC obviously got the big game against Michigan earlier in the week. This one, a rematch of the 1998 Final Four.
Oh yeah, I remember. So if if North Carolina pulls off the big win against Michigan, which I think they can easily come in here and pick up this win as well. But if they beat a big team like Michigan, they can't let a team like this fall in front of them too much. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But just keep them in control and then beat them. Don't get too deep in the water saying, oh, we got this game, So just control the game, and I think they'll pick up the win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking through here. I think I may have just made up a game. I don't think this is happening. I can't seem to find it anywhere. Don't know where I get it. Scratch it. I don't know. Doesn't exist. I don't know where I found this game, but oh well. Moving on. This one, I think, potential big game for basketball this weekend. Could be a huge upset. St. John's taking on Kansas. Matt, any thoughts on this one? St. John's is 5-1. Kansas is 5-1. Only loss for St. John's right now is to Indiana. They scored 119, in their opening game against MVSU. 91 against SPU. They've really slowed down the scoring, but I think you saw what they could do right at the beginning of the season. You have to give them a fighting chance coming into it. 11th right now in college basketball in terms of their scoring ability. So I'm going to give them a fighter's chance here. I'll take my pick. I'm taking Kansas. Top 10 team until they're not. I like the Red Storm, and I want to give them a chance to this, but I have to take the favorite here. I'm going Kansas.
Yeah, I got to go Kansas here too, but it should be an interesting game. Maybe St. John's and pull something. So it's college basketball. Anything can happen. So
that's for sure. So you're taking Kansas as well. How about this one? Big Ten matchup of the week, Iowa versus Purdue. I'll make it simple in this one. The Boilermakers are going to keep on shocking everybody. The storm coming over the world. Iowa, Purdue, two top scoring offenses in college basketball. Collision course of the greats. I'm taking the Boilermakers in this one. Give me Lee Corso's squad.
I'm going Purdue too. This is Lee Corso's squad. This is Matt Morrison's squad. I always pick Purdue for some reason. Well, we ain't going.
You do, but hey,
game day. We're going.
Lee Corso used to coach. I got to give a shout out to one of the best coaches still hanging around.
Lee Corso.
Yeah. You got a problem with Lee Corso? I'm pretty sure he coached Purdue for a while.
No, I thought it was Indiana.
Well, same state.
I'm looking.
Wait, maybe not.
Standing hold still here. No, dude, it was Indiana. He never coached Purdue.
Well. I'm taking the Boilermakers anyway.
Same state. Same state.
There you go. Same state, wrong school. Probably won't get any bonus points with the coach there on that one. But next game on our slab, Alabama, the Crimson Tide in basketball. Mind you, they are on a hot streak, but they have a collision course with a different set of dogs this week. They have the Georgia Bulldogs this Saturday in football. They got the Gonzaga Bulldogs this Saturday in basketball. I'm saying not just will Georgia pardon me, let me rephrase this. I'm saying not just will the Georgia Bulldogs take down Alabama this weekend. I'm saying the Gonzaga Bulldogs are taking down Bama this weekend. It's going to be a bad weekend in Tuscaloosa, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I'm going Zaga too here.
Man, we've been pretty neck and neck on a lot of these picks. We've had a lot of them in the run through. We have just one left on our list here, and it involves that team I've been talking about a decent bit. I've got Xavier, and they are taking on Oklahoma State. Any thoughts on this one here?
If this was a football game, Oklahoma State would be winning. But
I don't think that there's even a football program at Xavier, so I would have to agree with you on that, Matt.
There isn't. Actually, there's not. There isn't. They just have men's and women's basketball.
You know
Because I
what?
searched it here on ESPN. There's no football team.
Yeah. This one, Sunday, December 5th, 5 p.m. Oklahoma State fell out of the rankings. That's why I can't seem to find it right here. But, they're a fantastic team. They're 6-1, 5-game win streak. And to me, Xavier, they're one of those teams that I'm giving a fighting chance here because of what they did against Ohio State. They were 12 points down to Iowa State. They won by 1 against Virginia Tech. They have had a harder start as any. They're 5-1, 4-0 when they play at home. Unfortunately, this one in Oklahoma State territory. So they're going to have to make the drive Sunday, December 5th, 5 p.m. They're going to escape the cold. We'll see if they can get off to a hot start. They're going to need some flaming hot shooting if they want to take home this win against Oklahoma State. We know Big 12, all about points in football. Same thing goes in basketball.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go with Xavier here for making picks. I say Xavier takes this here, and right now they keep going on their way to March. I think Xavier is a team to watch out for. I think they're dangerous.
I think they're a dangerous team too, but I was originally thinking that this was going to be a big game for this Xavier team. But, I mean, you just look at this. This is Oklahoma State, man. They're in a dominant conference this year. All but one team has less than 1 loss. Kansas State is the only team that has 2. They're 3-2. Everyone else has 1 loss, and then they have 3 teams at the top with no losses. This has been fantastic, and only one Big 12 team has lost at home this season. That is Oklahoma State. I don't think it's happening again here with this one. I've got to give it to Oklahoma State. They've been playing phenomenally all season long. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. I'm taking Oklahoma State just as well so we don't have all the same picks this week.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys do want to know what our current standings are for the voting here on the show, currently, overall, I have 172 correct picks, 108 to the wrong, 116, 113 for Mike, and Matt, you are 166 and 114. A winning percentage is what we'll have to go by now because Mike will not be the same amount of picks. I still am first place at 61.4%. Mike has a 58.6%, and Matt, 59.3%. You're in second place right now when it comes to our poll so far. All of us took the Timberwolves last night in the NBA. We all got that one right. They pulled off a close one against the Pacers. Penguins versus Flames did not go your and Mike's way. I'm the only one that took the team in Canada. Calgary won that one.
It went to a shootout.
Even out on the Bruins, right? Yeah, fantastic game. I mean, we put up so many hockey games on here that end up going to overtimes. If we're pointing them out, there's a reason for it. Seahawks versus Washington, we all take the win last night. So far, I'm the only one left undefeated this week when it comes to voting. That normally how it starts. I normally am off to a great start, then it all comes crashing down once we get to the NFL and college football. But that will do it here once more for the Casual Sports Podcast. And once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in every day here on the show. It's been a fantastic run for us so far, and we have so much more to come, especially here with college football coming to a close. We're going to find some things to talk about. We're going to make probably Wednesdays, Thursdays, more basketball, NBA, NHL. We're going to find some other stuff to fill that gap with. But until then, I've been Alek Koberna. That's been Matt Morrison over there providing the comedy in today's show. We'll be back tomorrow here with the Casual Sports Podcast on YSNlive.com. Thank you all for tuning in.